Well, after calling the election rigged for weeks, Donald Trump is singing a slightly different tune now that the FBI is reigniting its probe into Hillary Clinton's emails. Trump told supporters yesterday that maybe the system isn't as rigged as he thought. Will Trump and his supporters seize on this October surprise? Bloomberg political reporter Kevin Cirilli has been with the Trump campaign since the very beginning, and he joins us now from Golden, Colorado. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. First and foremost, how is Donald Trump, what's going on behind the scenes? How are his advisors saying he should handle this recent development?
Elizabeth, I spoke just recently with top advisors within the Trump campaign, and what they told me is that they are going to double down in their attack against the FBI's reopening of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server, but they're not going to have him discuss Anthony Weiner. They view this as an opportunity for Donald Trump to move independent voters, to convince those voters that he is ready to close the gap with independents, to focus heavily today specifically on Obamacare as well as immigration. So today, I think you're going to see a Donald Trump on message and a Donald Trump poised to seize momentum heading into this final full week of the election.
And since we did hear that announcement, of course, he came out hitting Hillary Clinton really hard, and then he went on to some of his major talking points. And we did see a fairly disciplined campaign message. But my question to you, and you've been traveling with the Trump campaign, do you think that he can stick to that narrative and he can stay disciplined with only 10 days left?
Just last night, the Trump campaign added a new rally to their schedule tomorrow to Albuquerque, New Mexico. They're saying that this is a sign of strength. They view New Mexico as being in play. Now, of course, last weekend in Gettysburg, his debut of the Contract for America played particularly well with his base. However, the mainstream media headline was dominated by his comments against those accusers. But there was no such gaffe yesterday on the campaign trail. He did stick to the issues. He had a roundtable discussion in New Hampshire discussing, of course, the drug epidemic there, how he would combat that, clearly making a play for local media in New Hampshire. And then we saw him again double down on criticism of the Affordable Care Act. And I think that the sources that I'm speaking with are adamant that that is the message that you're going to see. I would also point out, Elizabeth, that right now Donald Trump has unified the Republican Party in Congress. They're all singing the same tune, attacking Hillary Clinton for this, again, reopening of the investigation. Both sides want more information from the FBI director, but all Republicans seizing on this as an opportunity to close the gap, not only from a down-ballot race perspective, but also at the top of the ticket.
Okay, you talked about the new rally planned, and obviously there's a very fluid ground game between now and November 8th, but we know that there are a number of independent voters who could be looking at voting, especially according to our Fox News poll, looking to vote for Donald Trump. So how does he cater to them, and how does he reach them in the next 10 days?
I've been all over the country this past year speaking with voters who are adamant supporters and adamant opponents of Donald Trump, but also independent voters who, quite frankly, are having a difficult making up their mind between both choices. And what they tell me is that they are looking for a reason for Donald Trump to convince them that he can really hammer hard on the issues like immigration, issues like the Affordable Care Act. They want him to seize that policy prescriptions on those issues. So look today in particular as he's at these massive rallies to see if he's talking specifically to that crowd. His top advisors tell me again that they're confident he can do it.
All right, Kevin Cirilli, thank you so much for joining us. Breaking news that Donald Trump's advisors want him to stick to the message, not focus on some of the more salacious aspects of the news that we're reading about. So, Kevin, thank you so much for that breaking news. We appreciate it.
Thank you.